Hello, and welcome back to more reading in other waters. I just did a whole bunch of... I clicked outside the window. I just did a whole bunch of reading in a different game, so I'm kind of exhausted already before we even begin. So I think I'm just gonna do a pretty... Oh, we're 33% of the way through with the taxonomy. So I guess this is a pretty short game. I mean, I guess I sort of expected as much. All those, like, Mew Cartographer and Mirror Moon EP were not much more than just a couple streams, like a few hours. Makes sense, but there's a lot of reading. So yeah, I'll probably just do a short, like, hour-ish of this or something like that. So where did we leave off? I kind of forgot. There's more in the taxonomy? Oh right, but I said, like, I'm not gonna bother with that until we've scanned the rest of it. So I guess we just go back to that whole, like... Oh wait, hold on, I forgot to unplug my gamepad, one sec. Actually, should I see how this works with gamepad? Just out of curiosity, like, is it any good? I like the mouse and keyboard controls, but I guess we might as well just for a little bit, see how it feels. So yeah, I guess we go back to those, like, shelves over here, yeah? And there's many things to do here. What is all this? Shimmer blooms? These pillars tucked behind the fingers of the reef are only just being germinated by the shimmer blooms. Can we sample a young shoot here? Sea silk. The sea silk struggles to seed these crumbling southern pillars. If just one specimen has been exposed, we can solve the mystery of these strange plants. And gardener. Some gardeners seem to have stumps where limbs once were. Perhaps here, where the pillars are most tangled, we can find a lost arm. Seems like a big assumption to make, but sure. So, how do we do this? Right trigger, left trigger, zooms. B is to scan. A is travel. Left stick rotates this, I see. Uh-huh. And then left bumper opens these panels. Oh, it like cycles through them. Okay. And I have nothing in here, so I guess I should sample. How do you do this? Oh god. Oh, this is weird. And then what? What? What is that? What do you tap? A? No? The D-pad? Oh, that's awkward. That's very awkward. You have to, like, set it on the right thing with the stick, and then hope that when you let go of the stick, it doesn't, like, go off the correct point. Wait, can I do that with a right stick? No. Right stick would make more sense, so you could, like, do the right stick, hold it on it, and then tap up and down on the D-pad. But, sure, fair enough. And then, like, right bumper closes those, I see. I don't think I like it so far, but let's try it out for a little bit. The travel seems nicer. So D-pad down to spend oxygen, and then A to expend this, and back here. I guess we'll just take a bunch of samples for juice. Yeah, too bad you can't use the right stick for that. Like, the right stick doesn't seem to be used for anything. It would make sense if the right stick was used for sample collection. How do I, like, look at that? Oh, right? No? Left stick? I see. Yeah, soothe spore. Shed feather. Bright pollen. I don't know if we figured out, like, what these do when used. Okay, now I have like a full inventory instantly. Probably not the best idea. But we can always just convert some into juice or oxygen. Like, why not just use this right now? Just to travel quicker through areas we've already been. Wait, and then B to scan. I gotta remember that. Yeah. So here's something new. So how do I... Right stick. Oh, I see. Okay, interesting. So that's how that works. I mean, clicking on things seems a lot simpler to me. Pillar garden. This pillar top is a little sparser than some of the others. Perhaps these more southern pillars have only been recently seeded. And then we click A to travel there, yeah. There's just more of that. So I guess let's just like... How do we... What do we do with this? I see. Like that. Or we can deploy it inside here. Okay. I mean, it's definitely like... They put some thought into it. How to make it, like, make sense on controller, but also on keyboard. Let's get more oxygen since... I might want to use that speed up thing. And then right stick, yeah. Lone pillar. Despite sitting all the way out here, this pillar is hooked up on the others, hooked up to the others by a long tendril. Wait, yeah, it's not a new one. Lone tendril. Down here, only a single bridge leads from pillar to pillar. A lone creature braving the currents as it crosses. So let's go here. Pillar garden. Out away from the other gardens, this wide pillar feels like a calming sanctuary. A blob of green and gold and a sea of blue. I guess we'll just go there immediately. Looks like we're almost close, done, rather. Close to being done with this whole pillar garden. It's just bright pollen. It's not useful. Yeah, navigating through menus is definitely, like, a lot finickier, more finicky. But, like, the navigation stuff seems pretty nice. Just, like, turning around and just scanning and then aiming at the thing you want to scan. I like that part. Exposed tendril. A tendril loosely dangles from the pillar, its root half pulled out of the rock. It is pale and bulbous. We could sample it here. Last tendril. One final bridge stretches down to the southernmost pillar, its strands swaying with the rising current. No, no. Okay, that's one issue, I guess. It only, like, marks the last one you looked at. Silken root. A spherical, translucent ball. Is this a root? And then what happened with the bright pollen? If we just, like, deploy that in here somewhere? Not much. Hold pillar. Despite being so thick, this pillar is cut through with small holes, and on its top a couple of shell plates catch the light. Damn it. Come back. Germinating garden. A lot of samples here. these small young petals are starting to open up to the three sons of Gliese 667's CC. I'm just gonna call it like Gliese, I guess. This place will be even more beautiful one day. Guess let's get rid of silken strands. We don't need that. And one more of these. And one of these. Come on. Chitin plate. Petal shoot. A new shoot of a petal plant from the Pillar Gardens. Oh. How do I just, like, travel? Is it Y? Yeah. So I guess now we should do this. But what about the, like, the broken arm? Oh, that's probably right here. Pillar worm. These long, segmented creatures with distinctive bright tails. Oh, I'll name these pillar worms. They seem to have burrows all over this place. What is this game about? You don't understand what I'm doing? It's kind of hard to explain, like, if you haven't seen everything. It's just... this is basically an interface of me. I'm like an AI cockpit deep sea diver suit thing, and there's a researcher like in me, but I'm the one in control, and we're just like on an alien planet scanning various things, and like all of these triangles are just places you can go to. These like balls are different life forms. It's just like interpretations of what you can see, and you can just like read about them and stuff. But yeah, it's very hard to explain. It's probably better to just like watch the first part where it's explained, if you don't like get it in a bit. Feathery pinule. A creature has left behind one of his delicate arms here, perhaps in order to escape from a predator. We could take a sample of it. So like, just in general, it's basically just a reading game, like a visual novel of sorts. Was that another one? A new one that I haven't scanned? But I guess I'm done with them, so that doesn't matter. But then we need some space here. I guess I'll just toss, like, the stuff I know I have some of. This is... okay. It's weird, you have to, like, select it first. What? I guess it's just a little wonky. Sometimes I select it and try to, like, pull the stick to bring it in somewhere, but then nothing happens. And it just, like, switches to a different thing. Feather arm. A feather arm, clogged with pollen from the Pillar Gardens. So I think we're done now, right? How many streams have I done for this game? I think this is, like, the 4th one, or something like that? 5th? So, quite a while. We were, like, hold on. 5 hours into it, yeah? Give or take. There's probably a little extra time with, like, testing and whatever. So we could just leave now, but I guess let's just go up here one more time. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna switch back, but I guess for today I'm just gonna keep using the controller, but otherwise I'm gonna switch back next time. Yeah, I think I've kind of done everything else here. Yeah, now we're just at this thing, which we can't do anything with. So I guess we'll just call for pickup here. Sorry, T. So let's drop in like everything here, I guess. Can you just like, you have to like drag it over? Wait. Oh, this kind of... What? What's happening? Am I destroying it? Okay, it made a sound like I'm throwing it away or something, but seems fine. Weren't you here for one of the previous streams? I thought you did ask, like, what's this game about on one of the previous ones. Maybe that was someone else. So we can scan some new stuff. Chitin plate. Pillar worm, yeah. More pillar worm. Shimmer bloom. And this is also shimmer bloom, I think. No, sea silk. And then this is the gardeners. Alright, there we go. Time to read, I guess. I think we have to read, like, most of it now. Yep, that's completely done. Gardener. Plumosus topiarius. Topiarius? Gardeners are feathery, slow-moving creatures that live among the pillar garden flora. Their upper part is mainly composed of densely packed fern-like arms. Underneath is a body resting on a dense profusion of short, root-like legs that anchor the gardener, but also enable it to walk, albeit very slowly. As gardeners move, they also rhythmically wave their arms, though it is unclear if this is for balance or is part of their pruning action within the petal gardens they inhabit. Gardeners don't do anything fast, but they do travel between pillars using the silken tendrils that grow between them. More analysis is needed to discern why, and what their relationship to these gardens really is. So how do I go to the next one? Like that. Analysis of a gardener's feather, which I have called a pinule, has revealed the gardeners feed on the same thing they camouflage themselves as the garden's petals. The gardener feather pinules have a razor-like edge, with which the gardener cuts away thin sections of petal to feed on without damaging the plant. However, unlike an actual feather, they contain nerves, suggesting the gardener can deliberately control them for precise pruning and for maneuvering in the water if they become dislodged from a tendril bridge. Quite why they risk such journeys given their ineffective swimming remains to be seen. Further study may unlock the puzzle of their purpose within the biome. I need, like, tea break. Oh boy. Analysis of a gardener's arm, filled with pinules, has shed some light on the relationship between them and the pillar gardens. The debris coating the sample is actually pollen from various garden species, suggesting that gardeners are an important part of the cross-pollination process. This means their contribution to the ecosystem is not just limited to pruning the blooms, they help propagate them too. Indeed, given their roaming paths from pillar to pillar, they must have some way of communicating and ensuring that no one garden becomes wilted or overgrown. This could be a eusocial hive structure or a territorial signature they leave behind. Either way, they're a well-coordinated team of marine landscape gardeners. And what do they look like? What? Really? I thought they were like ostriches, like underwater giant birds, like climbing around. I guess not. They're just kind of like plants that somehow crawl around. Feathery pinnules, small simple eyes, pollen caught in pinnules. Thin flexible limbs. Yeah, those definitely do not look the way I thought, because they moved in such a, like, you know, like they move quickly and then stop, and then quickly and then stop, and then quickly and then stop, or like lumbering, like a big thing, like a big bird or a big, like, elephant-ish creature or something. So I thought they would be like pretty big things. And then segment worms. The pillar worm. Pillar worms are long, thin, segmented creatures, that live deep in the dark tunnels and recesses of the rock pillars found in the East Reef. They're frustratingly difficult to observe properly due both to their shyness and their surprisingly rapid swimming speed. They can, however, be startled out of their burrows by consistent tapping on the rock. Once glimpsed, it's evident they have striations that taper to a bright, lure-like tail. Their front half is protected with overlapping rigid plates. They also seem to be what? They also seem to be burrowing or excavating creatures, ejecting dust and sediment periodically from their burrows. Further analysis is required to determine why they live so reclusively within the pillars. Analysis of a pillar worm's chitinous plate shows a creature heavily adapted to its burrowing lifestyle. It seems that the chitinous plates found around the organism's head are precisely grooved, allowing the worm to chip away at existing recesses to create tunnels, and funneling the sediment back towards the entrance. These grooves should also help protect the creature's head from abrasions while traversing the burrows. It's logical then that these bugs create the tunnels that other life, especially the silken tendrils and the petal gardens, require. They must be one of the foundations of this unique ecosystem, turning the hard rock pillars into vertical gardens through their obsessive burrowing. Dissection of a pillar worm's tail has shed light on their hunting and feeding behaviors. The tail itself is made from many panels of bright translucent chitin. Given the tail's brightness and the way it waves in a current, it's reasonable to conclude that the worm is using it as a lure. It could be an effective tool for the worm to attract small grazers to a tunnel's mouth with, before pouncing from the burrow and pulling its prey into the hole with it. However, the tail might serve another function too, as a countermeasure against predators. Was this specimen bitten off or willingly ejected? Either way, the pillar worm remains good at hiding its secrets within those dark burrows. Oh, I left accidentally. Worm. Swimming fans, grooved shell segments, feeding mandibles, oak leaf markings, tunneling limbs. Yeah, don't love that. Super fast swimming, like underwater predator worms. Doesn't sound great. And then pore petals. What does that mean? Pore petals, not spore? Yeah, it's kind of an anglerfish, bobbit worm hybrid, yeah. Shimmer blooms. Shimmer blooms are single-petaled plants found primarily in the sheltered waters of the East Reef. As they produce pollen as well as photosynthesize, I have classified the visible portion of these plants as petals, though they could also be thought of as leaves, serving both functions simultaneously. Shimmer blooms can be green, like most terrestrial plants, however they can also be found to be yellow, red, or purple in color, also like terrestrial plants can be, I guess. However, they can... Wait. Oh, yeah, I just read that same sentence again and got confused. I thought it said it like twice. The image of a patch of blooms is a beautiful one, and as they shift in the soft currents, they often seem to shimmer. The lower part of their single petal features many small stamens, which produce a fluffy, clumped pollen. Analysis of this pollen may provide some insight into their life cycle. Laboratory analysis of shimmer bloom pollen reveals it to be a heavy, sticky substance atypical for waterborne distribution. Have I read this? I might have read that. Unlike on terrestrial plants like seagrass, yeah, I did read this, whatever, let's read it, whose pollen is distributed by water currents and is therefore long and light, Shimmerbloom's spherical, heavy pollen seems intended to resist distribution by current, and must instead be distributed by creatures who visit the blooms. The reason for this may be the Shimmerbloom's tendency to grow on exposed shelves or pillars, which would risk lightweight water-transported pollen being sucked into the deep ocean, rather than being distributed to viable sites. By relying on creature transport, bloom pollen has a better chance of reaching another sunlit shelf or pillar. Analysis of a Shimmerbloom shoot has revealed a coiled stalk which each Shimmerbloom possesses, allowing them to control their height in the water. This means that if a Shimmerbloom grows beyond the optimum depth for photosynthesis, it is able to extend its stalk and rise in the water towards the surface. However, due to the constant sunlight, which is an effect of Gliese' tidally locked orbit, Shimmerblooms also use this ability to retract themselves away from the sun in order to protect themselves from cell damage. These beautiful plants are highly attuned to their environment, and I can think of no better species to give Minae's name to. What? Oh, Solcultur Minae. Okay. It is a name that deserves to live on in this place. I'm sorry I can't do more. Oh boy. Recessed stamens, section view, extensible stalk, pollen-producing stamen, photosynthetic cells, Shimmerbloom garden. Yeah. And clavicula, whatever you say for that, however that's pronounced, tendril leaves, sea silk. Vivuspons sericus. No idea. This bright green plant stretches its silken tendrils in long horizontal swaths between pillars in the East Reef. This plant is characterized by its fibrous, fine and flexible strands that can be as thick as rope and as thin as human hair, appearing almost white in sunlight. How they form their bridges and why the plant's tendrils do not rise to the surface is unclear. I have observed one plant intertwined with strands from other pillars, and when these multiple strands meet, often in areas roughly equidistant from their respective pillars, they seem to form a web. I wonder if strands from individual plants are drawn to one another. Analysis tea break, hold on. Analysis of a strand of sea silk has shown that it is in fact from two different plants that have somehow conjoined where they met. Moreover, there are younger growths formed near to the end of each plant strand, demonstrating their ability to form new shoots along their length, which must be why I've observed a web-like pattern in some of the tangles. However, new growths require a good deal of energy. The strands are green on one side, a sign of photosynthesis no doubt, but their underside is distinctly darker and more porous looking. Are the strands able to absorb matter floating up from underneath them? I need to analyze a root structure or similar to find out more. I was surprised to discover that the sea silk does not end in roots. After finding a damaged strand, I found it emanating from a kind of silken ball that I initially took to be a root. However, in lab analysis, it was revealed to be an entirely separate creature. The sea silk is a product or plant-like limb of this organism. I discovered the root itself is able to put down but also retract strands of sea silk from within. It's an unusual fusion of creatures. Is this a symbiotic relation or a parasitic one? Regardless, these curious creatures and their growths are the bridge builders of the pillar ecosystem, turning isolated gardens into a connected network and helping them flourish. I see. Root creature, pillar bridging tendril, webbed strands, new shoots. This doesn't sound as nice looking as I thought it would be if it's just giant kind of sticky spider web looking things, semi-transparent, that just form giant walls that protect against the currents. That sounds scary as hell. I thought it was viney plant kind of things forming a jungle of sorts. But I guess not. So there we go. That's all of that. I'm already kind of exhausted, but I guess we'll do a little more. So I guess let's try and go here. And where's the best way to do that? Probably from here, right? Just go south? I don't even know, what is this? Tiny pieces of reef cap drifting down this long rift. If we can fight the current, perhaps we can find the individual shedding them. I don't know, is it better to go here? I don't remember where the, like, cave was. Maybe I'll try from here. But I guess we should maybe grab some stuff, or do I want to? I mean, I'll get more stuff, I guess, on the way. We can always get more stuff. So, let's try going here and just southwest-ish. Tea break. And now it's like, yeah, uncentered again. Why is it doing that? Come on, center the thing. There we go. I don't know what's going on with that zoom feature half the time. Yeah, I guess we have to go down. But here, we might be able to go down at this point. No? Come on. Might as well grab some samples while we can. So we're not going here. I guess we're going from up above instead? Am I? Or maybe I was supposed to take a different turn here? So which one's which? This one? Let's wait with using it. I'll just convert some stuff into oxygen. That's fine, right? Yeah, that's O2. Yeah, that's fine for now. So that's where we can go up, but can I move onward here? No. But here, maybe we can go out? No? Where is it that I'm trying to go? I'm addicted to spending all the oxygen now. Just makes it nicer to travel. And that's just that. Nothing more here. Guess we'll try and go west and, like, stay down as much as I can. The controller is kind of winning me over a little bit. There's still some, like, trade-offs, some finicky stuff, but it's pretty good overall. Do I care about this? I guess. So I can, like... What is this? Just trill sacks, I think? Yeah, so let's just, like, convert more oxygen. Yeah, like, this stuff is a little more awkward, I would say. But the, like, actual navigation and travel is almost better than mouse and keyboard. Yeah, the menuing is definitely the weakest part of the controller scheme. So I guess we go down here instead, back where we came from, but now we have an upgraded power. No! God damn it. Yeah, it's definitely some issues with the menuing here. Guess at this point we don't need to be fast anymore. It's probably not going to help. Is it down here? Guess we should get some more here. Or what sample is this? Stock bark. Don't exactly know if that does anything useful. What is the stock bark? This? It's just for power. Guess that's probably all it really is used for. Surely down here we can do something. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Did I read this already? I'm guessing I did. Deep rift. The central rift is deep and wide, and the current running down it is relentless. Rushing waters. Spores and other particles leave greasy streaks on the faceplate of my helmet as they hammer into it. Yeah, again, I kind of wish the fuel was only used when you traveled, not like constantly. Violent currents. The suit creaks as I lean into the flow, and the unbroken walls ahead suggest nothing worth risking my life for. That was just like a set amount, like you can use it for 10 travel points or something, and then it expends it like every step of the way instead. I feel like I would have just preferred that instead of just feeling like I'm stressed out. I have to like hurry with this, and I would have been able to do it faster if I don't like read everything out loud, but yeah, it's just a bit of a shame, I guess. Broken cap. This mushroom-shaped stalk cowers beside the rift. Its cap is broken, and segments of it sit in the sand. We could sample one here. Quickly, before it's done. Oh, I want those. Not that I need this, because I'm just gonna get up here anyway. Like, retrieve, but sure. There we go. Cap section. A section of gilled cap tissue from a sporing stock. So yeah, let's just, like, link. That should be everything here, and we can go back. Wasting another 5 hours of Ellery's time. It's kind of pointless just dumping all this in, but why not? It seems like you're never stuck, really. Like, you can always find samples of things that you need. Like shrill sacks and stuff. Reef cap. And that's everything, right? Yeah, now that's done. I think I've read these two, right? Yeah. Analysis of reef cap tissue shows that the reef caps maintain a bacterial symbiote? Symbiote? What? I don't know what that word is. Within, if it's a typo or if that's actually a word. Within a series of internal chambers, which, while unique to Gliese, resembles Epulopicium. I have no idea how you pronounce that. Epulopicium. A large-celled bacteria found in the stomachs of terrestrial surgeonfish. E helps surgeonfish break down algae effectively, and the reef cap's bacteria seems to do the same, with traces of algae-like growths found in the cap chambers. Where is this algae coming from? However the caps receive it, this algae is allowing the caps to grow bacterial colonies, which then reduce themselves to endospores when the algae is digested. These endospores are then released to the stalks in the local area to renew the strength of their colonies. It's an incredible recycling system for protecting this ecosystem. Chitin plate sutures. Endospore chamber. Supported reef stalks. Spore-releasing gills. And were these the ones that you can, like, break open with the shrill sacks and get the, like, other poison spores or whatever? Or was that a different one? I think that was a different one, maybe. Yeah, that was reef bloat, I think. Yeah, hard to keep track of all these. Oh boy. I guess I should do a little bit more. One more, like, batch of things. We only have the main thing to do now left. Yeah, I guess we're gonna go for a pretty big ride. Like, I was a third done when we started, but at this point it's probably more than half remaining to be scanned and collected and read about and stuff. Should have probably used a boost, but whatever, it's like right here. Alright, new stuff. Rift's center. This massive split in the ocean seems almost too violent to be natural. Both sides are almost impossible to see from the center point. Sheltering pillar. This pillar rising up from the ocean floor deep below provides shelter from the rifts. There's something on the other side. A huge green cloud rising up from the shelf. That must be the bloom. Northern shelf. Less dramatically shattered than the central reef, the northern shelf slopes down gently through layers of sediment. Guess we're entering a new ecosystem now. A new biome. Bloom Edge. The green wall of a vast bloom of some kind rises up ahead, swirling and obscure. The bloom. What ecological crisis spawned this green mass? How is it connected to the reef? If the answers are anywhere, they're inside. Does it, like, take up my oxygen? Yeah. The water inside is totally anoxic. The suit's rebreather can't function. We'll have to run on reserve oxygen while we are inside this place. Oh boy. Strange rocks. I have nothing to, like, you know, use for oxygen either. I kind of want to see, though, like, what happens when we run out at some point. Bulbous and shiny, these formations sit under a coating of green filaments and growths. We have now entered the green era of In Other Waters. Filtering fan. The water here is both highly oxygenated and temporarily filtered of its toxic microbes by the fan. These fans seem to be re-oxygenating the water. I'll start logging notes. They should be useful. There's life still hanging on inside this toxic bloom, creating safe zones in order to thrive. Perhaps these creatures can help us learn how to exist in these toxic conditions. Let's take some samples and see what effects they have on the bloom when we deploy them. Occasionally this fan shivers, releasing a flurry of green growths that have gathered among its gossamer spines. This fan sits among shards of rock, trembling in cyclical currents of the bloom. Oh. It can give some oxygen, but not that much. Bloom oxygenating dust, harvested from a filtering fan. I kind of want to try something. I kind of want to try and, like, save and quit. And I guess just see what happens. If I save and quit, am I here or am I back at the base? And then, I guess just, like, sit in there and just see what happens if we run out of oxygen. Like, I assume it's just like, oh, we're calling... Oh, I am here. Okay, it did actually save, like, properly in that sense. Yeah, so let's just, like, go back instead. I'm just gonna sit in it, because it shouldn't take long. I'm assuming it'll just, like, automatically call for drone pickup or something, but maybe we get a specific conversation about it. I wonder if there's some way to expend power very rapidly. If we could do that in some place as well, and just, like, run out of power and see what happens. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's balanced around, like, you're never actually gonna run out of oxygen unless you're just an idiot. If you just, like, go onward at a reasonable pace, you're probably fine. I can't... What's going on? The suit is shutting down. 0. Operator override active. Extracting suit. Locating safe zone. Safe zone located. Rebooting. Well, deathless run. Like, ruined. What happened? Are you back online? Yes. Good. I think the suit's preservation protocols kicked in. It brought us back to this way station. That was lucky. Please, I need you to keep an eye on our oxygen and power. Let's not do that again. Now, where were we? Okay, yeah. I mean, fair enough. Let's stick with that. Not like I have any choice other than, I guess, like Alt F4. We could try that just for science as well. Now that if I don't choose save and quit, if I just Alt F4 and boot up the game again, am I where I left off? If I'm not, that's fine. If I am, we'll just keep going and see if we, like, die naturally, I guess, at some point. Yeah, it did save. Alright, that's fine. So, I am at the last... last way station that we were at. Did we lose the progress up here? I'm gonna assume no. No, we didn't. I wonder if it's more efficient to keep this boost on inside this area, even though it costs oxygen, since that means we can go through the, like, toxic parts quicker. Can we get more samples here now? Yeah, we can. Oh, I should have scanned those things, but whatever. Let's find some other stuff as well. Bivalve creature? There's some kind of shelled creature hiding in the silt over there. We need to figure out how to tempt it out of its burrow. Perhaps a sample from elsewhere in the bloom? Something that reacts with the microbial growth itself. Rock sheets. Here, the rocky shelf of the reef flakes away into large fragile sheets with razor-sharp edges. Silt drift. A rise of silver silt fills the depression created by the corroded rock shelf. The tip of a shell pokes above it. Is that an eye? Toxic waters, away from the rock outcrops and the fans of the visibility. And the fans, the visibility in the bloom falls to near zero. So if we just go here right away, do they, like, run away or something? No? So can we use these? Yeah. I've tempted it out. I don't know if that did anything. I guess it made a bit of a safe zone in here. So instead of converting it to 7% oxygen, you can place these to make, like, safe zones where you can breathe, which might be more efficient. But then, where do we go? Down here? Rock outcrop. Like stone tumors, these rounded rocks rise up out of the green toxic clouds. These fans have to be filtering the water of the bloom to feed. Behind each one is a small area of clear, oxygenated water. The rear side of this fan, free of the green strings of microbial growth, has a pale ivory sheen. The bloom is vast. What could cause and sustain these processes on such a scale? With the oxygen gone, the microbes here must be metabolizing some other substance in order to persist. Might as well just get more oxygen. Yeah, not sure what is more efficient. Probably just spending them, like, making places like this instead. Wait, what happened? It didn't make a place? Never mind. I guess that's specifically for the creatures? Okay, never mind. There's a faint fizzing that emerges from these fans. It appears to be caused by the coating of their spines reacting with the bloom. Metal traces. The faint signature of a metal alloy. Perhaps the remains of equipment Mina brought into the bloom. What was she doing here? The burning clouds of the bloom roll across the rocks. Well, we obviously want to go here. No, stop. No? Nothing? We don't want to, like, see those things? These fans seem to grow close to the rocks, perhaps for shelter from stronger currents. Don't I want to recover their tools? Nothing but sharp rocks and green water. And now we're back here. Bloom fan. Pale, delicate fans that feed on the bloom by filtering it through. I'm naming these bloom fans. When we finally get out of this place, I'll update the base's taxonomy logs. Their bodies using a catalytic dust to counter its toxicity. The thin streaks of oxygenated water behind the fan shimmers faintly with traces of catalytic dust. I want to keep going like left and down as much as possible. And there was nothing more here? No, there is. The microbial life of the bloom blankets every surface. What other life can survive in this toxic landscape? Looks like oxygen over there. Through the green cloud, something bright glows in the dark ahead. Up ahead, a fizzing membrane of oxygenated water. Is this what allows the species here to survive this constant toxicity? Silicate skeletons. Hold on, let's go here. Bubble edge, tucked into the... let's go. I'm, like, dying here. Let's just look here. I can't look at the one I'm currently on. To the south, the central ridge of the bloom reaches up, disappearing into green clouds of growth. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Silicate skeletons. Strange giltering domes marked with ornate patterns of holes sit in the silt. Whatever inhabited them is long dead. Nesting creatures. These swarms of bright creatures provide vital safe zones in the bloom. Let's start logging data on them. Within these complex, transparent structures, the blurred activity of many individual creatures can be seen. These must be nests. Is it water bees? Crystal cylinders. Protected by the sheer wall of the bloom's central ridge, these open nests flutter with the movement of their swarms. Central ridge. Splitting the bloom, this vast ridge descends to the north, where it may be possible to cross. These strange forms scattered around inside the bubble. Are these skeletons? They resemble radiolarians, but far bigger in scale. They are incredibly ornate. Radiolid? I don't know how you pronounce that. A colony of shattered domes lying in the silvery silt. What were these creatures? Also, So what was this? Like, fan dust. Bloom oxygenated dust harvested from a filtering fan. Sphere fragment. An ornate mineral orb honeycombed with oxygen bubbles. They're definitely bees. These colonies do well to hold out against the bloom. The individual creatures seem to be able to digest the microbial growth. We can use this. We should try deploying a colony to see if we can create our own safe zone inside this toxic flood. So that does what I thought the previous thing would do. Nest workers, tiny transparent creatures sampled from a woven nest. And that's it, over here. Now it's just going north. I kind of feel like that is a decent place to end it off. Like, I don't have much more energy for this, so I think... Oh! We can't get out of here. Oh, crap. I see. So I guess... I guess we just use up some of this and then go back. I guess let's speed up as well. Hopefully that's efficient. Because, yeah, I kind of want to, Wait, did I use it? Yeah. Stop it. Oh, there we go. Still struggling with the controls a bit. I think I've had a little too much reading. Can we get more here? Yeah, okay. We can just get more immediately. Nope. Ah. Very awkward, these things. Yeah, I guess you just have to keep doing this. It doesn't seem like we can use it for any other thing other than those creatures. Just to keep the oxygen up. So when can I leave? Still unknown region. I guess we have to find the way station of this area first. Still can't do it. Might as well just get over there myself. So I guess we have to call for the drone anyway. You want to talk? No. Yeah, it's a little awkward that you can't, like, just... Okay, you can do that, which is weird. Like, press right bumper. Yeah, and then it just goes to the suit again. I don't know, this is weird. I'm assuming we can't do any of these because we have to scan more stuff, except the one thing, this one, yeah, Bloom Fan. This one is not gonna be done yet. Yeah. And there's kind of no point reading about the Bloom Fans yet until we learn more about them. So yeah, I think that is a good place to end it. Just a bit of a short one, but I really think that's like the way to go with this game instead of trying to push on playing it for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. Just like about an hour is enough reading for me to keep my interest and engagement. 'Cause yeah, it is very interesting. Just rough on the old voice. So, thanks for watching In Other Waters. I'm gonna take a quick break again, and then I'm gonna beat Imamushi tonight. I'm feeling it.